Hello Martin, welcome to episode 118 of Illuminating Rounds. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, very well.
Good. So we're going to talk about Balck by example today, which is the scenario we've played. We have a great segment from Phil Draper and Tim Bunce, who are two British ASL players. We like them both, don't we? They're very nice chaps.
Absolutely, yeah. This might not be the place to say we don't, but yeah, I like Phil and Tim very much.
That was the bit before we started recording. You were walking in. I was trying to think how to describe these two guys, right? Because a lot of people won't know these guys, right? I like to think that Tim is like a character out of someone out of a Simon Pegg type film. You know, he's the all English kind of. You're going to find him enjoying a pie in a pint somewhere, you know, and
that's fair.
Phil's he's kind of like handler, isn't he? Really, he's kind of like he's not quite his carer, but he's I think more of a handler. Phil's the sensible one of the two. Phil has a very important job in defence, and he's working in Norway at the moment.
Tim is a scientist.
Well, is he, or is he the one guy that sells the drugs? I can never remember.
His current job, I believe, is selling the drugs, but he is a scientific background. Yeah,
he does. You wouldn't know that if you spent an afternoon with him, would you? But he's a good. They're both good fun guys. They both are very good ASL players. Tim is the source of one of my worst horrific ASL moments, where he had he was eating shortbread biscuits and he had greasy fingers, and I told him not to pick up my counters, and he smudged my half squad. Oh, it brought a tear to my eye. I bought a whole new for King Country after that.
I've never played Phil. I've played Tim a few times, and he's a very good player, and Phil's a very good player too, by all accounts. Yeah. But I once played Tim at a tournament in Blackpool, or even Bournemouth. Actually, it was Bournemouth. And I was beating him, which was a very, very unusual experience. Very, very rare that I can get the better of Tim. Definitely had him really, really struggling. And he just went really, really quiet for about half an hour. He didn't say a word, didn't move, didn't blink, barely breathing. And then after that, he just started doing these brilliant moves and absolutely won the scenario. So my claim to fame with Tim is I've made him have to work hard to beat me.
No one has made Tim work hard in his life.
That's true.
The last time I played him, which was in double one, was the scenario that we all just couldn't. Poor Gary and Morris. They did a great job of picking all the scenarios, and we had to play the scenario. It was the one that I think you didn't play either. It was in the afternoon, wasn't it? There was a curry or there was a pizza evening going to happen. It was 90 degrees outside, and it was a really complicated big scenario with cavalry or motorbikes, and there was an airfield in the middle of it, and it was all
planes taking off every turn. Planes taking off every turn. Yeah.
It was. I think there was a wagon somewhere. I think there was.
Yeah, there were.
It was craziness, and everyone just didn't have. Well, I say everyone. You and I and a few others didn't have the ASL bandwidth for it.
Yeah,
and. I said, look, and Tim had a pretty disastrous first turn. And so it was like, look, come on, let's just call it here. We can go and have a pint. It's okay. And he was so obstinate. He was like, I will not do that. I'm going to make you grind out this win. I am going to play slowly. Because I was like, okay, listen, let's just have a draw. I don't even think I took a turn. And we accepted a draw, and it was great. We went up and a beer. And it was a great afternoon of ASL. But it was funny. So, and there was no issues at all with that.
He's a lot of fun. They've got a fun opponent.
They are. So they are going to go into detail with a scenario called I've got it, Opening Probe, which is from The Bitterest Day.
Which has caves.
Yeah. So they're going to do a deep dive. We've got a 3-parter of that, and they are going to kick that off in a bit. With their first section. So if you want to get into caves and if you want a deep dive into that, this is the place to hear. They do a bit more analysis than you and I do.
Do you know what, Dave? I know this will surprise you to hear me say this, but I'd like to play caves one day again. I mean, I had an experience with you 15 years ago, which broke me when you were defending with caves. Was that Blood and Iron?
It was Blood and
pack,
Iron, yeah.
I think.
That's right. So
I was the
Bruce...
Americans, you were the Japanese, and I had no, I didn't really get caves, and you just basically disappeared whenever I fired at you, and whenever I moved, you were there firing at me. It was horrific.
That's right. We've got a picture somewhere. I can't find that picture. I've got to find it somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Where we took a picture of the map afterwards, and you're going up a hill. Blood and Iron. I can't remember if Blood and Iron was the scenario or the pack. I think it was the pack.
It was the pack. Yeah. I think you'd won the pack somewhere.
That's what. Yeah, Bruce from Australia had basically given it away to somebody, and he did a raffle. And he said the only condition is if you play it, if you win it, you've got to play it and do an AAR of it. So I was like, okay, well, I put our name in for it, and I won it. And I said, okay, look, I brought it round to you. I said, okay, we have to play this, and I'm going to have to do an AAR of it, and I took a picture, and the stack, I'm not kidding, the stack was this high, wasn't it, on the map at the end of the game of American counters. And it looked horrendous, and it was all of the support weapons that you dropped in one hex from KIAs, and you kept going in there to try and pick up the flamethrowers, and they got killed. Yeah, it was.
Because I don't learn when you've got like a hex of death like that. I don't learn. The next, surely it can't be heads again. It's got to be tails this time.
I will spend a few minutes. If I found the picture, it's going to be here. Yeah. If there's nothing there, you won't see it.
But I'd like to have a go again. A defender or attacker, I don't. And even with the cave complex.
Wow. Well, let's see if
because it's a very interesting area of ASL. But I can play with someone else. It doesn't have to be you. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to watch Tim and Phil first.
Yeah.
And I might get in touch with Ben as well. Ben's very good with caves, understands them.
That's
completely.
What you want, is someone really good at them to destroy you with caves. And
no, I only want advice from him. I don't want to play him.
You did this with Seaborn Assaults, where you decided that you'd find someone really good at Seaborn Assaults, and you basically lived on a seawall, I think, doesn't he? Before Martin Vickers.
Oh, Martin Vickers, yes, yeah.
So he basically loves
to be fair, Martin Vickers is obviously a very strong player, but I don't think he'd had much experience of actual seaborne assaults. But he when I put the question out, does anybody want to do a seaborne assault? It was Martin Vickers that
there you were,
volunteered.
Paddling on lilos towards this beach, and he was destroying everything you had. Yeah. Excellent. All right, okay, so let's talk about Balck from Balck by example.
Yeah.
You've got the scenario card in front of you, so you can talk.
I have indeed
about this scenario.
Yeah. So can people see the map now?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So obviously there's the French setup first. Hex row A. You can see the forward French units there. That's the most forward the French can be. They have a total of 9 squads, 2 anti-tank guns, quite weak anti-tank guns, 25 double Ls. But they also have a heavy machine gun, a medium machine gun, a 9-1 leader, and an 8-1 leader, and they're obviously defending that little town. The Germans are entering from the right-hand side of that board as we're looking at it, and the Germans win at game end if they control 3 multi-hex buildings on or between D and N. So that big building with 3 hexes in the middle of the board, that's the first line, if you like, that counts, goes all the way to really all of the multi-hex buildings.
So the big question is are you going to attack this building here in the front?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do in terms of how much force?
Exactly. Yeah.
You've got interest in SSR, haven't you, with a 10-2 leader?
Yeah. So the German unit stacked with a 10-2 leader of Fanatic. The German 10-2 leader and any unit stacked with him may declare hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
That's it.
So
I'm thinking it's the -2 that I'm going to be using initially.
Yep.
By the way, I'm coming on with the 10-2 leader, but I've also got a 9-1 leader, 10 squads, a Panzer IV D, and 2 Panzer III Fs, and a Panzer II F. So I've got a whole variety of vehicles to kind of, help me move through this board.
And I think do you have to have a mobile vehicle at the end as well?
Have to have a mobile, non-recalled vehicle at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. With working armament or just?
So it says one greater than or equal to one mobile, non-recalled tank remaining on the board. Okay. So in fact, if I break the gun, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I've got four tubes there. So
yeah.
So you're exactly right. There's this stone building at the beginning. It's difficult to leave it behind because the last thing you want is something behind you firing at all your brokies and causing pain. But it's not a victory condition.
Yep, exactly.
Mm.
All right.
So my plan is to storm it pretty quickly. That's
exactly. My plan is to try to hold you up as much as you can. I mean, 5.5 turns is not a lot of time to get all the way to the back here. And
it's about keeping in mind the ability to run a half squad or something all the way back to D2 or E7, F7. And you've got a concealed unit. You've got a HIP unit as well, haven't you?
That's right. I've got one HIP unit. It's got to be in a single hex building. Or can't be. I can't remember. Yeah. It's got to be in a multi. It can't be in a multi-hex or.
It can't be in a multi-hex building. So, but there's nothing to stop you on your last turn revealing him and moving to a building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my guy's back here.
Yeah.
In this hex here.
Yeah.
The guns, I never know what to do with these kind of guns. They've got to try and get rear and side shots.
Yes.
I mean, this one here looks very, very far forward. And I think, well, maybe you'll fly a tank up through it, and maybe you'll avoid this area.
Mm.
And this one here is in theory, if you come down this road and here, that's kind of the plan there for you. So we'll see if that does anything. Right. Okay. We will kick off.
Mm.
And straight away you get some fire from my my squad up here against your half squad, and then you're off running. And this is one of those ones where I can't really do a lot about it.
Yeah.
And so this is almost like a textbook attack really to start with for you. On come the tanks. I'm not going to show you anything. We 6.
Yeah.
Something.
I'm assuming some of these are dummies as well, of course.
That's right, yeah.
But you got four dummies counters.
Yeah. Can't remember what that 6 there was for. But anyway. So you found, or you're about to find one set of dummies here. Oh, I think, that was the one dummies there that you found.
Mm. I was quite happy finding dummies, really, because it means I haven't got too much work to do there.
Yeah, and you've got a great position here against the other dummies. So already I'm thinking, okay, well, this is going to fall quite quickly. I've probably put too much ahead of here. And I mean, at the top here, I'm feeling so weak here.
Yeah.
The heavy machine gun isn't really going to get a lot of line of fire here. This is, maybe going to get this away a little bit.
But I'm not really taking advantage of it. I've only really got heading up that way.
Yeah. So prep fire here. This guy hasn't got a lot of options really. Even if he comes back, he's still going to get shot at from the tank. So I figure, well, okay, I might as well prep against the big stack here. Get a little bit of a break. Bring some of the concealment guys or the dummies back.
Yeah.
Split these guys back so that I've got like a fairly big force here. The problem is that I figure you're going to get that 10-2 in, and you're going to start chewing through these guys. You put smoke here. This was interesting. Some smoke here. Kind of happy to see you prep firing, really, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't mind prep firing tanks because they can catch up.
Yep.
But you're not wrong.
But the 10-2 now in a great spot here to jump into close combat. I'm petrified of that.
Yeah.
Firing as much
as
it's
not a dummy, it's a full squad.
Yeah.
It's always got a lot of mixed feelings. It's nice to find out that there's a lot there, like there's 2 squads, because you're going to kill 2 squads and you know that the force is weaker, that you're attacking from then on. On the other hand, it's nice when they're dummies and you can move through quickly
All right, exactly.
towards the actual objectives.
This mortar did a really good job. So the mortar was just firing at anything
Yeah.
moving down this street here, and just kept a ridiculous rate of fire. I think I got 5 shots or some ridiculous number.
Yeah.
And so just kept making you go
breaking
down through.
things.
Yeah, the slowness of the ploughed fields.
Yeah.
Hurts.
I just broke him. Yeah. 2 squads broken from the mortar. Yeah.
Yeah. You get the you pin the guys here. Advance fire. In you go into close combat.
Yeah.
You got your 10-2. You roll your 1, so there's destroy me in close combat.
Yeah.
And life's looking quite good for you. No ambush hurt you a little
good.
bit, I suppose, because you but only because I rolled the 1. I think any other number you'd have ambushed me, I think.
Yeah. And it helps actually that you malfed your light machine gun as well. I mean, it's that squad upstairs isn't a massive threat, but it is a threat.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're pulling back through the woods.
Yeah, and to pull back on the top floor of the building here to kind of get out of line of sight for most stuff here.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice. I mean, you've got these these guys that might be able to have a shot, but
it just gives them another turn of being a pest, doesn't it?
So here you take a shot against the, I guess for acquisition into U9, this spot here. And I'm kind of a little bit nervous about that because you didn't actually hit that one, but
no,
it's not going to be long.
Easily happen.
Yeah, it's not going to be long that you keep firing there. So I pull back.
Trying to discourage me from firing.
Yeah, but already turn 3, it's suddenly.
See, I'm quite pleased with the half squad at the top.
Yep.
But I'm kind of making a little bit of heavy weather now, I think, through the woods on the bottom, and the fact that I haven't got the building yet. You've done the right thing by pulling back. Yeah.
So I had to take this decision. You've kind of got this guy acquired, which I know you're not going to bother with. You're not going to fire at this next turn because I'm behind the line now. But I've got this reasonable shot against your side of your tank here. So, but it's kind of like, this is going to cost me. There's a chance that you might this tank here might end up here to try taking shots, and then this one might end up somewhere here, and I might end up getting a couple of shots off from the gun. But I choose to go for the shot instead. Miss.
Of course, you missed.
But I keep rate of fire, I think, and then hit it again. And
of course, you're keeping concealment at the moment. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so you knock you out, and you get your crew out.
Yeah.
You've got to try and figure out how to cope with this silly bunch of guys here.
Yeah,
and this is one of those things where you can't almost run your guys out of the building because I'm going to be taking the down 2 shots.
Yeah.
And yet you've got 3 squads in there and a medium machine gun, and you're 2
and
leaders.
a -2 leaders. In fact, you're right. Yeah.
So I managed to break a few guys in here.
Yes, that's right.
Which is pretty grim for you. And suddenly it's going your way, isn't it? Now, a little bit more. It takes some intensive fire shots and bits and pieces. You just hope to break the gun at this point, knowing that it's not going to last very long. And you kind of creep down the woods. Mortar just has a few shots, but looks pretty good.
To sort that mortar out. Then my gun at that point.
You're unlucky with the gun there. The dummies are gone into close combat. So,
surely this will be quick.
Yeah, exactly. 10-2, the 4-6-7. Now, you didn't declare hand-to-hand here, I think.
No.
But I think this was the game. I can't remember. This might have been the game we learned that you declare hand-to-hand after
the ambush roll.
and even after everybody has assigned the defender and attackers.
Yes,
So
that's right. Yeah,
then you
yeah,
get to kind of cherry pick it.
yeah.
Was you tempted here to go for a hand to hand? Was this, or did you forget about that?
I think I probably forgot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so-
would probably be much more tempted if I had. Well, the thing is, I think it's very risky here unless I've got the ambush.
I think you just did get the ambush. I think that was
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, you rolled a 10, which
Yeah.
is, I guess, not great.
Which, yeah, so if that had been potentially I'd give you quite a nice. And we have marked it hand to hand.
Oh, did we? Oh, maybe. Well, maybe you were 1-to-1 for sevens.
Yeah. Yeah.
8, 9, 10. Oh, did I get half squadded? Maybe I got half squadded.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, half squadded. Okay, yeah. So
it was a hand
you
to
did go
hand.
hand to hand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's very risky because you got a not an inconsiderable chance of wiping me out on the attack back.
That's right.
But I needed to just clear this position and move on.
But obviously, I didn't do any damage back because I was a half squad by the time I took back because of the ambush.
Yeah.
All right, so the mortar kind of trickles back. There's a little bit of repositioning.
Thing is, I've got great machine guns on these tanks. Like losing the main armament is not.
Yeah. Let me just load the next one. So 2 seconds. All right, hang on. Number 2. All right. So carrying on.
Do I have enough tanks? 1, 2, 3.
Was you supposed to have 4?
Yeah.
It's funny because when you read that out, I thought, oh, that sounded like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting, isn't it? I must have just I think I just gave myself 1 Panzer F. I'm thinking that's probably what happened.
No. Okay.
And they're phenomenally good tanks, the Panzer threes, because they've got 11 machine guns.
Right.
So
yeah. That would have helped
it's
you.
like 20. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that would have definitely helped you. So, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're obviously trying to pull back and guess.
Yeah. You'd start overrunning for fun down here.
Yeah. Yeah. And this should be most situations an effective overrun.
Yes.
No, just pins that ridiculous mortar.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing to remember, it's a French mortar. It's not a German or a British mortar, is it? So they are, or Russian. It is an effective weapon.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm overrunning it in the open.
Yeah.
You'd have thought, but all I do is pin him. Yeah.
And so see, this is one of the ones where you forgot to rally this guy. So we said, oh, no problems, just go back and have the rally, and you double sixed him.
Yeah, of course.
So a bit of fire, but suddenly 2 turns left.
It looks like a lot to do now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's my turn still, isn't it? So,
it's me now.
no, it's your turn now, right? Your turn now.
Yeah.
That mortar's still firing. It's just
I know.
driving me mad.
So you've got
again.
You've got this half squad that's now kind of crept all the way around.
Yeah, no, he's distracting some of your forces, isn't he? But he is in a position where he could run around and jump into G3 or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit kind of torn whether to try and guard against this big push in the middle that you've got.
Yeah.
Or to just give it up.
Yeah, because that middle building is probably going to fall, isn't it? It's a question of.
Yep.
But you see, the 10-2 is just not in the fight. He's just not in the thick of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go back and try another overrun.
Another overrun.
Or maybe you just set in close combat there for that one. In bypass.
No, I'm very much thinking about. Yes, I think I'm just singing past there. I'm very much looking at counting hexes at the moment. To be fair. Yeah. And the thing is, what makes this difficult is that these are multi-level buildings.
Yep.
Getting a half squad into a building where you've already got a half, even a single man counter isn't enough, because they can break and go upstairs and.
That's right. Yeah, so you kind of clear out the 9-1 with a heavy machine gun.
Yeah, yeah.
He broke
But you've
his.
still got another unit there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the only an 8-1 though. Only an 8-1
But I
leader. That's
should
all
be
it
able to deal
is.
with it. Yeah, should be able to deal with that. So
Well,
I'm likely to get one building now.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I have pulled back.
Mm.
Try to defend the line.
Yeah.
My
In
last
melee
turn.
with the mortar. The mortar's still. Oh no, I killed him.
Yeah,
killed
you
him
did.
Yeah.
My last turn, I reveal the hip guy and pull him back into here.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to stop this guy doing anything crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You try and do some distractions.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of let you do it.
Yeah.
And suddenly you have a chance here because this is a good move.
Yeah.
So its motion here restricts this guy's fire.
Mm.
These guys on the top, which is the green squad up here, can't see this guy because of the orchards.
Yeah.
So this is good. So you're running these guys down. I get no shot across there. So this looks like he's going to win the game potentially for you because you're going to get this building. You're going to get this one, and you need, was it one more?
Yeah, but I need three.
Yeah,
so
this one.
I've still
So you
got
need
to
to
capture
take this
that
one.
central building, yeah.
But there's arguably enough guys here.
Potentially,
to
yeah.
do that.
I think the issue is all you got to do is route and go upstairs.
Yeah, these guys are already upstairs.
Oh,
this one here. Yeah, but I can't route this guy upstairs because you're adjacent to me here.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but yeah, potentially, yeah. These guys, I don't think they're going to have a chance.
I've got to get into every hex, haven't I, and break you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get the little green, guys with a 2 down 2, roller 3 on the IFC.
Yeah, and that was a big mistake on my part because I should have attacked this building first before sending this guy around.
Yeah.
Because he probably would have fired at some point. And I think it was still very uncertain that I would have taken that J row building, but it was not impossible.
Yeah, and at this point, I think we call it at this point.
Yeah.
This is the point where we call it. Yeah. Because you
but
just
I think
can't
the trick you've got is that this green squad here just needs to break and go upstairs.
Right. The guy, this one down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're underneath me in both these hexes, though, that won't work.
But I wouldn't be underneath you because you're on the ground floor in that hex, aren't you?
Oh, so you're saying? Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. So I break, go upstairs, then you come. Yeah, you come inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah.
No,
so right. I think that's what made it very difficult for me anyway. But it was a mistake for me to do that glory run first.
Right.
It was a good scenario. I enjoyed
it was a good scenario.
With an extra tank, it would have been a little bit easier.
Right. And this is a rally point scenario, number 106. This came from, was it rally point 11? I think. Let me just double check that. I think it was rally point 11. Yes, rally point 11. Now the balance here allegedly hasn't been won. This game hasn't been won by the Germans, and they perhaps used all their tanks. I don't know. As if you were trying to showboat.
Presumably.
You could showboat and not do that.
I think it is winnable. I did feel it was perhaps a bit pro-French, but I think it is winnable because you've got that 10-2, and I failed to really take advantage of him.
Right.
But
I also think
once he's in, once he's got a job to do and he's teeth into it, he can do anything, can't he?
Right. So I think you've got to be really aggressive with the tanks, and I think that's what leads to the guns potentially being able to take the rear shots. Because if you bring the tanks up with the infantry, it's perhaps too slow because you've only got that sort of 5.5 turns. But if you push really fast and try and get those 11 machine guns adjacent and stuff like that and round the back, that's what's going to expose them to potentially the rear shots of the guns at the benefit of potentially encircling or preventing the French from repositioning. So it was nice straightforward game. We probably haven't played enough rally point scenarios. I think
that's fair. Yeah,
they're quite a nice, refreshing. They're straightforward and they play in a relatively straightforward manner. They were supposedly designed, I think, for a little bit more of the sort of starter kit transitioning players. So in theory, there's nothing crazy. But I mean, at this point, if you are a starter kit player that's, because I know Hedges certainly in starter kit 1 weren't there. If by this point you are now playing with Hedges and everything like that, tanks and combined arms and guns, you're an ASL player, aren't you, at this point?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it was good to know. Enjoyed it. It was.
To be fair, I think that the building in the N row, the one where your 9-1 is at the is actually a very difficult building to defend.
Right.
Against strong attackers, I think.
Yeah.
It's got no fields of fire hazard. It's
and if you get around the back,
approach.
You can't really withdraw from it because the open
you can't withdraw. So it's a good place for the Germans to kill perhaps the main French force kind of thing.
Right.
Potentially.
Yeah, you had to turn behind, weren't you? But anyway, well done. That was a good game. Thank you.
Excellent scenario.
Right. Okay. So I guess now we have to introduce the proper players. And how to play caves. So
yes,
Phil and Tim, take it away, and thank you very much for doing this for us. Here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Phil Draper and I'm here with my long-term ASL mate.
Oh yeah.
Tim Bunce, and I guess we have been playing, I was trying to work this out, we've been playing war games together for nearly 50 years. So I guess why are we doing this is another thing. One of the reasons I really wanted to reach out to Dave and Martin and support the channel, if we can at all, because I think they're doing a great job of entertaining and getting stuff out there about the game system. I suppose one of the things I did want to do that's maybe different from the replays that they do a lot of is examine in detail areas of the rules that come up within the games that I'm finding challenging and that other people might find challenging. So why did we pick this? Well, I should say we're playing the first scenario from Bitterest Day, which is a Bounding Fire pack about Okinawa. Is Japanese without being PTO, and the reason we picked it is it's got an awful lot of cave stuff in it.
Yeah. It's plus, as you say, it's hellscape, and I really wondered what it would be like open ground versus cave complexes and a million hidden Japanese.
Well, I mean, the basic setup is, as you can see on the screen, you can probably see most of my stuff is hip. I get a very small Japanese force, but a lot of caves which are predominantly hidden. The victory conditions are the Americans enter in essentially the top left hand of the corner, so the northwest, and they've got 6 turns to essentially cross the map, and they win by either controlling or eliminating 3 caves at game end, or by controlling I-15 and J-14 and controlling and eliminating 1 cave. And I-14 and J-15 are I-15 and J-14 are the locations of the 2 trenches that you can see on the board. So I can't hide those, but pretty much everything else is hidden. Defending it as the Japanese, I suppose my comments were it's a sort of a classical asymmetric fight in that the Japanese are the immovable object and the US is the unstoppable force. It's a very potent US. I mean, essentially not potent necessarily because they get a lot of stuff, but their squads are 768. So the Japanese have to fight from the caves as much as possible, although annoyingly they have to at least partially defend the trenches because they're part of the victory conditions. As a Japanese, you really want to stay in the caves, or that's what I felt, because the caves are excellent defensive terrain. You are absolutely terrified of the US firepower, you're frightened of his smoke capability, you get a flamethrower. And as the Japanese, my biggest concern was my ability to hurt the Americans, because defensively you only get 1 medium machine gun, which has to be crewed by a crew to be effective. You get 1 light machine gun, so your best attack really is a 6 modified attack, which against 768 troops is not super lethal. So your concern obviously is your ability to hurt the Americans as the Japanese and your ability to stop the tanks. So you probably see from my setup, which I don't think is optimal, I have a hip tank hunter hero here. You can set up 1, I think, by the percentages of 1945. By Bitterest Day SSI, you can also set up hip AT set DCs in any terrain and trigger them. So that's quite powerful, because essentially if a tank moves into that location and I can get the DC to detonate, it's going to kill the tank. And if you're armoured assaulting with it, which is one of the things you expect to see a lot from the Americans because there's not much other protective TEM around, it's gonna attack them as well. So I've got the gun set up here outside the cave complex, which was an interesting decision. I was essentially worried about the final attack across this open ground area. The anti-tank gun is 47 long. It's not very good against the front of a Sherman. This red dotted line here is the tunnel that I have that connects the two cave complexes. And obviously that red dotted line there is the trigger for this set DC. And I also had another HIP unit in the Hill 1 cave complex at start. I could have hipped another half squad, but I can only deploy out one squad at start, and I wanted a squad out in the trench to strip concealment as people move forward. Now this not an optimal position for him really, because I don't think he can see down here, and that turned out to be an issue for me.
From the US point of view, you have got an overwhelming force against the rather weak Japanese.
Yeah.
But you're going to be running across open terrain. You're going to have to take -1 and -2 shots. There's an awful lot more concealment terrain than you might think looking at the map initially, because all these hexes are broken hillside and they're concealment terrain. So you can hide his caves in all of these places in infantry, and it's also +1 TEM, I think.
Yeah.
So it's some of the only TEM on the board.
And you can't cross those hex sides with vehicles either, right?
No, you can't cross the hex sides with vehicles. Also, your vehicles are limited to a maximum of level 1 as well by SSR. And the other thing is if Phil just decides to leave a cave somewhere and not use it, you can't find them any other way if they're in concealment terrain other than searching. That is the only way to find them. You can't find them by fire. You've got to search if you want to find a cave, unless he reveals it and shoots out of it if it's in concealment terrain. And once you've found it, they're almost impossible to blow up.
Well, very challenging to blow up, yeah.
They're very challenging to blow up. And the main limitation is you've got 5.5 turns, and really you've got to capture the 2 trenches was my objective, and control 1 cave, because I thought controlling 3 caves would be difficult. Anyway, that's really it from my perspective.
And obviously, as Tim mentioned, the broken hillside, obviously that means I can set my caves up and retain HIP. But I have set up caves outside of them, because on the Sugarloaf Hill, you'll notice there aren't actually that many broken hillsides on the Sugarloaf Hill. These aren't where I've actually got these 2 caves. So that means as soon as someone has a line of sight within 16 hexes of those caves, they're placed on map, as long as they're within the covered arc of the cave. Interestingly, for this scenario as well, there's an SSR that sort of reveals caves over time. So we had a good start for Tim with a wind changer 3, which didn't actually do anything. We went on to the movement phase, obviously, and Tim entered. I think this is an initial half squad push, and then when you come up onto level 1, you can obviously be seen, and I think I stripped your concealment there. And it turns out it's a half squad, not surprisingly, on the attack. But at that point, he can also reveal this cave system. The cave counter. Now, both of those caves are revealed, but not their contents, because they're concealment terrain themselves. I had to put the caves on, but there's still HIP units inside the cave. So as the second half squad comes on, although I've got my kill stack in here, my machine gun that's hoping to get a shot onto a big stack moving in this area, I'm not revealing anyone with a loss to this half squad. So he just basically proceeds forward without losing his concealment. Now we get a big stack arrives here. Now obviously at that point I reveal the 9-1 in his cave, strip the concealment, which was essentially, it's not a bigger stack as I thought, because it was a 9-1-2 half squads, but it was an important stack, and so I took the shot.
My 2 half squads and a squad.
Yeah, but obviously I wanted to get the shot off early as well, because I was going to need to reveal people to strip the rest of your concealment as you come on. I open with an excellent 10 that does nothing to anybody, drops a bit of resid in there. I didn't declare a fire lane because I'm not on a continuous slope. I guess one of the things to note if you're a new player to caves is the sort of slightly strange rule that although this cave here is at the level of its entrance hex, which is here, the hex that it points to, It is not plateaued out by its entrance hex. You always have a line of sight to a lower level. So there is actually a continuous slope loss, but not to here where I took the shot, I think. So that's something to bear in mind. So I dropped some resid in there. The tank moves forward. I did a subsequent as you moved up there, yeah, because I wasn't going to get another decent shot. And again, that's no effect. I think it was another 10, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Yeah. Yeah, so my normal gunnery practice is resumed at that point, and obviously the tank pushes forward onto the hill. Now, I thought this was an interesting move by you. You put a rider on the second tank, right, with the 60mm mortar. You only get one 60mm mortar.
Yeah.
But this was a big stack, obviously moving outside of sort of 6 range. I'd already finaled from up there. You move forward. And then you break up the stack here, which was quite.
Yeah, that's because I wanted to unload the mortar, and it would have overstacked the hex.
That's right. So you basically push the infantry 8 movement factors up onto the hill, but that was quite a brave move in some respects. I think I reveal the medium machine gun at this point, directed by an 8-0 in that cave. Open fire with a 6. First fire, and then I think you survive the morale checks, don't you? You get
morale checks.
Maybe,
I'll get a pin.
Get a pin in there, yeah, you got a pin in there. I drop a bit of resid in there. You drop off the mortar with the armoured assaulting infantry. Second tank moves up, all the way up onto the hill. And then we went into defensive fire. Oh, we'd forgotten to put the snipers on, which is traditional.
Put snipers on.
Yeah.
That's, I don't want to count up mistakes versus.
Yeah. We should have set those up first. Obviously, failed to do so, which is traditional for most of our games, or a lot of them. And the Japanese sniper is quite strong with 4, so it comes into play. Okay, so I was firing here. So the mortars were firing acquisition, essentially. Yeah. So I was firing acquisitions. Also, it's probably worth noting, in this cave down here, I've got a Japanese mortar in the cave. Japanese light mortars are the only mortars that can fire out of a cave. Obviously, the other mortar I've got is in the trench here. And he's been firing away as well. That was actually quite a good shot because it broke someone in the tank hex here, didn't it? The DM pops up. So I did get a hit and effect there.
Does that not also create me a hero?
You rolled a 2. Yeah, so I broke... What did I break? I broke one squad with a medium. Yeah. And then you generated a hero on the same attack. Yep. Yeah, so we got acquisition in there. And then we moved to advancing fire. You opened fire on the caves to gain acquisition from your tanks, I think.
Yeah.
With some hindrances. Again, I don't think there were no hits here at all, were there? Did you?
Except I roll a 4.
Ah, yes. You rolled a 4, gaining acquisition against this location, yeah? Which is obviously a sniper check, where I roll a 1. So the sniper activates to here, and then jumps onto these guys, where you've got, interestingly, you had 2 demo charges, right?
Yeah, just my DC attack boys.
Yes, and then they're both randomly selected.
Yeah, then I randomly select them and you roll another 1.
Yeah, and I roll another 1. So I managed to... The sniper manages to break both of your DC toting half squads.
Sets back my attack.
So that was very lucky for me, really, because I'd achieved nothing defensive fire-wise until that point. Then we went into the route phase, and they routed back from the tank into this palm tree debris, which is not rally bonus terrain, but is the TEM was, I guess, better than being under an acquisition under the tank. And then we went to advanced phase, I think. Yeah, 9-1 comes in. 768 pushes onto the top of hill 1, and I think that was his, a little bit of advancing to build a big fire stack there.
Yeah, lovely jubbly.
You got the flamethrower DC combo in there as well, with some TEM. Obviously getting people out from under the acquisitions and pushing up. Close combat phase, and that was that turn basically. So you pretty quickly established a position on the hill without taking any real losses, but the downside was that both of your DC carrying half squads, whose job presumably was to
blow up the cave.
You didn't. It slowed you down, I suppose. So we went on to mine.
Sure.
So wind change. Then you went into rally. Did you rally either of them?
No. No, they failed dismally, I think.
So I then went to prep fire, and this was where I was using my mortars to try and break up your fire group attacks. So I was firing smoke onto the hill within 10 range, using both mortars to try and blind you a bit. I'm not sure it was
worked reasonably.
And then I think there was some other prep fire that was ineffective.
Yeah.
Other than generating more DMs, some more pin task checks. Didn't get another sniper shot out. I did get a morale check there, and you failed it. They're interesting, the light mortars, aren't they? Because they look like they can't achieve anything, but it's surprising how often you do get something out of them. We then went into the movement phase, and basically what happened here was I made a mistake in that I pulled the units out of this cave complex here. Okay, because I didn't see any advantage, and my original plan was to begin moving them back through the tunnel into this hill. The problem is with that is to use the tunnel you have to start in the cave complex, which is one of the reasons I had this guy already in the cave complex. Because you essentially have to use the whole of your turn movement. You begin in the cave complex, you move down the tunnel, and then your advanced phase you come out the tunnel into the other cave complex. So you can move safely, but it does take some time to get it done. Okay, so I've disappeared out of that cave complex, cave into the cave complex, and this guy, I think I moved him already. Yeah, that probably yes, because then I put a sewer marker on him to show that the guy who started in this tunnel moves down the tunnel and then is going to advance out at the end. So I guess the real question is why did I put him in there in the first place? Well, partially because I didn't know which way your attack was going to run. So I thought if you swung far north and then started coming down the right, I might push people back out the front of the cave complex, but I decided not to do that. So then we moved to defensive fire, and you open fire with the vehicles. I think it's very difficult to get a hit on the caves, basically, with anything. +4. Yeah, +4. And you're fighting, most of your tanks at the moment are all buttoned up, obviously, because you're worried about the sniper, presumably. So no effect apart from acquisition building, is that right?
It's ineffective.
Yeah, and then we go into the route phase. You pull the guys back that have been re-DM'd. Yeah.
Well, not outline fire under that tank.
Yeah, under the tank.
Behind the smoke.
Behind the smoke. So you're getting protection from the smoke and the AFV. That's pretty much it. Now we go to the advanced phase, and I think I made a mistake here because I was considering with these guys what to do, and I didn't know whether to pull them back to this side or to leave them here. And really, I should have never left this cave unoccupied, and we'll come to that, I guess, in the future. I disappeared back over here as well, pull some people back into defensive terrain, and that allows me to pull that mortar that was in the trench complex into the cave, but I'm CX to do it. Oh, because I had to come out the trench, that's right.
Yeah.
So it was 1 to come out the trench and then 2, 3 to enter the cave at the same level, because the entrance hex and the cave itself are at the same level. So, and it being a 4 portage point weapon, I had to go CX to do that. Looking for close combat phase, there was none of that. There was no concealment growth. And that brings us to the end of player turn 1, and with that the end of episode 1. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you got something useful out of it. Tim and I will return with episode 2 and 3, focusing on ASL cave play. If you do notice any mistakes we've made, or you have any questions, please get in contact with Dave and ask him, or through Dave, contact us. The intent behind this series is for us to start a conversation about ASL and particularly the complex areas we all struggle with. So I hope it's been useful. Look forward to speaking to you again for episode 2 in a month or so's time. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Tim. Nice to see a picture of Phil's man cave in there as well. Yeah, we kind of get a little glimpse.
There's a lot of games there. It looks good. Looks very good.
Exactly. Are you a fan? I don't know if they're playing. I don't know if he was playing the same scenario there, and he was looking at just the setup there. But are you a fan of playing? We've played a little bit with Toby, where Toby plays on a board, and we've done it. I think we've done it once or twice where we've played on a board instead of like Vassal. So we just played it kind of with counters, or if I haven't done it with you, I've done it with someone. I quite enjoyed that style of play. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where you put your board and you you talk over it. It's quite a nice way of doing it. It's a little bit fiddly because you've got to make sure, ideally, you want the same letter squads and everything, doing everything.
Yeah, I think what I find a little bit so you've got the board, but you're also playing on Vassal.
I wouldn't even use Vassal, so just
right. So you're literally two people in different locations. I've got my map board, but you have to say to me, this squad is moving from here to here to here. Yeah. It's just, I remember doing it with Toby, and it worked. It worked fine. But it is an extra bit of, when you haven't got much brain width like me, bandwidth for thinking, trying to like sort of move the counters and think about whether you want to fire at it.
Yeah.
I found it a little bit tiresome, if I'm honest. And it's so easy on Vassal. It's so easy. I mean, I think with Toby, it's because he works on computers and he doesn't want his gaming to feel like work, I think. He even plays other computer games, on Switch or something similar, rather than go onto a computer. But Vassal's so good. I don't know why anybody would do anything different.
Yeah. It's and some guys play Vassal. I've seen. I think it's the Scottish guys. I think maybe even Martin Vicker. I think has talked about putting Vassal on a gaming table, you mount the table with the board, so you just play with the boards, and then you use physical counters on the boards themselves. So your TV screen.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So slightly reminiscent of the old Space Invaders games they used to play when we were growing up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that is actually quite cool. So, gosh, I can't remember his name now, but there was a guy who used to come to all the tournaments, lived on a boat.
Oh, okay, Chris Walton.
Chris Walton, of course. I can't believe I forgot his name. Yeah, so Chris Walton used to play with a friend, and they used to sit in the same room on a laptop and play each other on Vassal.
Back to back, wasn't it? They would, because that was when So we seem to have lost the art of the private connection for Vassal. There was a time where the Vassal server was going down quite a lot, and people would have to have a private room and then host the server on their own local client, and then you would connect to it. But
so I don't know which method for connecting they used. I mean, they could well have just done it online, but
I think they didn't have internet. I think that was the thing, because he didn't have internet, so he had two laptops.
Oh, I see. Right, because he's on the boat and stuff. Yeah, I know he got rid of all his stuff, all his ASL stuff, or he possibly had it in storage or whatever. But living on a barge boat, there's nowhere to put your stuff. B, it would probably all get damp and mouldy in no time. So he played face to face on two devices.
That's nice. Yeah. I mean, it works, doesn't it? It works, and you can play.
Yeah, it works.
You can play campaign games because you haven't got the space, I guess, to set up a big Word Barricades game and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Talking of,
some amazing improvements with Vassal. Have you been kind of noticing some of the changes?
Well, we saw that the counters, the concealed counters, are clear.
See-through for you, aren't they? Yeah, right. I think that's really. I mean, at first it threw me.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a really, really good innovation.
Yeah. That is good. Talking of innovations, the Scenario Archive got a speed increase this week. So if you saw that the archive was a little bit slow previously, I have done a lot of work on getting certainly the homepage and some of the scenario pages going quicker. I'm trying to get to the bottom of, and I've started to work on the fact that the map segment for the scenarios was costing me £100 a month because they were getting something like 35,000 views of scenario pages, and that hits the map API of Google quite hard. I mean, not relative to Google, but relative to my budget. So I've made it now that you've got to be logged in before you see those maps to try and at least slow down the cost of the map provision. If it still has an effect and that people are still, the normal usage is still causing £100 bills, what I would do is because that's on top of the hosting, that's not the hosting. I might figure out a way of sort of screen capturing the map and replacing the dynamic map with a screen capture of the map, just to reduce the cost a little bit. But I've also they sped it up as well, and we've got the balance over time as well, which I'm not sure if I mentioned last time, but on the balance pages now, if you look at a balance report of the scenarios, you can see a balance over time to work out how the balance has changed. So the example I used was when we played To the Square, I felt that it was, as it was published, it was quite pro-Russian. Quite pro-German, the defenders.
Yeah.
But as people have sped up their attacking prowess, I feel like it's quite pro-Russian, the attackers now. So anyway, I wanted to see if I could do a balance over time. So if you've got any comments or feedback on that, please feel free.
That's interesting.
Reach out. There was a little bit of good discussion, I suppose, about the things we've talked about with the rules suggestions. I don't want to say rules changes, SSR suggestions, whatever, for the Growth As Mini. We haven't got Toby's thoughts as yet on the latest ones, the Bocage ones. So we'll take a break from that for this week. But it kind of did spawn quite an interesting discussion. And I know that these kind of discussions get a little bit out of hand sometimes. But all around whether or not there will be a version 3 of the rulebook, and if so, what would change? Is it just a rewrite in terms of making the existing rules clearer? Or does it try to make the game more fun, less luck dependent? I don't know. And it's interesting because people do have strong opinions on this, and rightly so. There's no reason. It's the game that people love, and why would we tinker with stuff that has worked for so long, for so well? So if there was to be a version 3 of the rule book, what would you want to see on it? Would you want to see big changes or little changes, no changes?
Okay, so I suppose the obvious thing is that there must be a very big list of Perry says and clarifications, official clarifications. I suppose you obviously are going to write all of those into a 3rd edition. But do you make it a different game? I can see some benefits to doing it because there are certainly might be quite interesting to do. The difficulty I've got with it is, and I've said this before, is think games like sort of Dungeons and Dragons have regular new books, and you have to have the latest rule book, and it's expensive. I've always been quite pleased that MMP don't do that. But having said that, I have bought a 1st edition way back. I've obviously bought a 2nd edition binder. I've obviously got the paper one, which is really, really good. Now I have the electronic version as well. So I've spent quite a bit of money on the rulebook as it is. So version 5 comes out. I'm going to want the paper one. I'm going to want the electronic one. I suppose that's something that sort of puts me off a little bit. I don't know. I'm
always too dark in this room. I can't quite work out the lighting, but for some reason. Anyway, I kind of feel like it's a great chance to make it a better game, but I think I'm in the minority of that, and I think we probably won't see a 3rd edition because there is going to be a division in the community. I feel like if they did anything more than just tidied up the some of the rules. Indy made a good point that none of us play without house rules in ASL. So you'll meet people every now and again who say they don't play with any house rules at all. So there is a rule in ASL that is only voided by a house rule that says that your opponent can demand that you reveal information for every move to prove it's legal. And they suggest having a house rule to basically have a trust issue on this. But basically, if I'm moving a concealed unit around, I have every right to ask you to show me that's not just a support weapon with a concealment counter moving around.
Yeah.
And none of us play that rule. We all play with a house rule, which is an interesting.
It's an officially recommended house rule.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we are playing with a house rule to the point that most of us aren't even aware that it is a house rule.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just left wondering how many people have moved machine guns around on their own against me. Because
and
I never checked.
I'm just thinking, why have I not been moving?
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, Martin, we are we're going to start round 2 of our tournaments. We've got a playtest scenario from Pete Schelling for an action pack. We are cracking into that. We have a winner's bracket. We have a loser's bracket. You and I are paired up on the loser's bracket. So the losers that we are. That's
yes. It's because we're playing each other. It means that what normally happens can't happen, and that is that we lose every game in every round. One of us has got to win. So
yeah, exactly. We're gonna do that. Other than that, Martin, I think that's all I've got. I think, have you got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right, okay. You will be defending the next scenario. I'll let you choose the next scenario.
So this is the next scenario, not the tournament one.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so I'm going to be defending with caves.
If you,
no, I'm not going with caves. I'm joking.
But I genuinely didn't pick a scenario that had 10 wins to 0 against your favour. By the way, so apologies for that. But if you want to, play Balck by example, try and get the first German win.
It's a good scenario, and I mean, you know, you've got balance options, haven't you? You could always add the German squad. Don't forget 4 German tanks.
Yeah, you could use all of the tanks
and be aggressive. I quite. Do you know what? If somebody plays it, it'd be really interesting to hear from them. You know, if you've got it on Vassal or Logfile, would be great. But
Absolutely.
if not, just a little after action report. You know, if the Germans win, if the French win as well. But if the Germans win, definitely it'd be interesting to hear from you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, show us how to win as the Germans, I think is the challenge there.
Yeah.
Take your time. There's no rush. If it takes you a few weeks, 3 months, whatever, we'll revisit this at some point. Yeah, yes. Yeah. We'll still be here. All right, Martin. Well, you and I have a date on Friday. We're going to go and look at a potential ASL gaming retreat. So I'm going to, my latest ridiculous idea is to buy a big, I don't even know what to describe it as. I'll let you describe it next time after you've seen it, Martin. But big set of, I don't know, land with some houses on it that we could host ASL tournaments and gaming tournaments on.
I think that the crazy thing is that you just want to host gaming tournaments, particularly ASL tournaments there, but it's like a massive life-changing kind of like endeavour.
Not only that, I mean, by the way, I'd be evicting 2 families doing so I don't feel good about it at all. So anyway, you're going to come and talk some sense into me on Friday. Fingers crossed.
I mean, fingers crossed we'll be, me talking sense into you, I'm probably going, do it, it's going to be great.
All right. Okay, well, listen, we need to start sponsoring this. This segment's got to be sponsored by my property empire. Otherwise I'll go bankrupt in no time at all. All right. Until next time, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to the patrons for all your support. You guys absolutely superstars, help out with the archive. I appreciate every bit of your support. I appreciate the comments we get. Thank you. We do read all the comments on all the videos you send. We might not reply to them all, but we agree with them all. It's good to hear. It's nice that you guys take the time to Make some comments. Thank you to Phil and Tim for their efforts as well. They've upped the bar of analysis, scenario
I think
analysis.
they have. Yeah, that was in depth.
It was. And maybe we'll even get to turn 2 by tomorrow or next time. Who knows? But
All right.
they're not quick players at the best of times, are they? So it feels like you're playing them in real time when you see a game with Tim going over 3 months. So anyway, until then, Martin, thanks very much. Take it easy.
Take care all.
Bye bye.